Okay, so grabbing your Pilates ball, that's it, lovely. And also a cushion too would be good, just to have that just as an aside. So let's start standing. And just whilst we're standing hip joint width apart, let's just lift our toes. If you can see my toes just lifting up. Just lifting up here like that. Yeah, you can see that right there. Just have your feet parallel, really lifting up, lengthening the fascia from the feet all the way up to the joints of the toes, and then lengthen the toes. Feel like you're widening and opening out. You might want to do the same, mirror that in your hands as you do this. So lengthening your fingers away from the palms of your hands as you're lengthening your toes, allowing your toes to lift, allowing your toes to separate, and then softening them down with intention. And again, lifting up, opening out the hands, and dropping down. And again. And then let's draw our fingertips up the wall. Open the arms out to the side. So circling the arms up towards the ceiling. Opening out to the side. Fingertips still nice and long, but not really open and active. And again. And this next circle, as you bring your arms down towards your legs, you're going to follow the movement with the head, neck and shoulders, rolling the rib cage down towards the navel, lengthening the arms towards the mat, to the floor. And just let the spine just hang here, wherever it leads us. Maybe turning, spiraling your arms one way, the other way, just to get them a little bit more, moving more loosely in the joints. And press into the feet, pull up from the front of the spine as you come up to standing. Draw the fingertips up the wall, open them out to the side. Now bring your hands towards your pelvis and sweep them out to the side first, and then draw them down the front without moving your spine. Just do a couple more circles like this, and then we're going to follow the arm movement with the spine. Just a couple more. Turn the light on here. And then draw the fingertips down the spine and slide the rib cage towards the navel, and just drop the arms down towards the floor. Let the spine hang down here. Bend the knees, let the fingertips touch the floor if they're hanging in the air, and then lengthen the legs. Bend the knees. Press through the soles of the feet, lengthen the legs. Bend the knees. Lengthen the legs. Bend the knees. Place the fingertips on the floor. Let your heels come up onto the balls of the feet. Send the heels down. And then lift the heels. Open up the front of the ankles. Come to the side so you can see lifting up. And again. Little bit of weight on the fingertips. Let the fingertips just be your guide if you need to support them. And then bend the knees down. Send the bottom towards the heels. And then lengthen the legs up. Bend the knees down. Lengthen the legs up. Bend the knees down. Lengthen the legs. Bend the knees down, and then let's just come onto the mat. shimmy yourself forward so you are at the edge of your mat, your feet are at the end of the mat. Bring your arms up in front. Actually take the ball in front of you and just place the ball in between your palms. I want you to locate your pelvis, and I want you to imagine that you've got big wheels on your pelvis. And I want you to turn the pelvis, delaying the ball in front of you, letting the shoulders slide away from the ears, and just slowly, gently come down. Bring the arm bones up. If this isn't available, if you don't have a ball, you can always place your hands behind your eyes if you want a little bit more resistance or support as you're coming back. Sliding backwards midway, lengthening the thigh bones away from the pelvis, and come back up. And again, turning the pelvis, turning. Soften the shoulders. I want to see your ears. That's it, lovely. And then come back up. And then we're going to go midway, and we're going to start to introduce a rotation. So we're going to rotate the rib cage around towards your front of your mat. Drop the shoulders down. Let the back of the head go back a little bit. That's it. And turn the rib cage towards the back of the mat. And forwards. And to the front of the mat. And to the back of the mat. Come to the middle and curl up, sit up. Widen your knees out to the side, widen your elbows to drop the ball down as you come down, drop the head down, open up the spine. So things to consider. Dropping your shoulders away from your ears. You can always bring your arms down a little bit if you want them to be 90 degrees to the shoulder or slightly below. If they're higher, then there's a higher chance that your shoulders are going to rise. You want to think about the head being a little bit more backwards. And then just turn the pelvis again. And then just feel like your thigh bones are going opposite to you. And then we turn the rib cage around. So imagine that the rib cage is like a sort of, I often think of it as a gilded bird cage, and the spine is the pillar in the middle. Turn to the back, and then again. That's it, good. And again. Breathing here. One more time to the front and then to the back. Softening shoulders. And then come forward, send the knees apart, drop the head, the neck down. Just let everything soften. We're going to do that one more time. All the way up. Reset. Nice length from the pubic bone and the pelvis all the way up towards the ceiling. Soften backwards, slide. Imagine that you're sliding the thigh bones away. And then turn the ribcage around towards the front. And back. Towards the back. Towards the front. Towards the back. Now stay here and lift the legs up and balance. Softly imagining that the back of your body is a hammock. And then just maybe lengthen the legs up a little bit if you'd like. And then lengthen the legs up if you like. One more time. Drop your knees away. Let's come down again, softening your spine down. Softening your shoulders away from your ears. Just letting everything just drop. Breathe into the back of the rib cage here. We're going to repeat that. So we're going to come up to sitting. Arm bones to your shoulders. Just bringing your, your knees together. Rolling backwards. Make sure that you're nice and supported in this feeling of being in a hammock. Then lift your knees and your feet off the mat. Bring your arm bones up a little bit so they don't get in the way of the knees. And then just lengthen the legs. Just point the toes away. For 2, for 3. And then either hold here or hold with your knees bent. And dropping knees away, softening. Dropping down. And curling back up one more time. Arm bones in front. Rolling backwards with the pelvis, turning those wheels of the pelvis. Really creating that lovely supported back. Chain, lift both the legs up. Arms just come up so they avoid the knees a little bit. And then lengthen the legs. That's it. Just soften. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears. And then either hold here with your legs up or your legs bent. And then coming all the way down onto the mat, lying on your back. Lengthening the ball away from your head, above your head. And just let your rib cage flare naturally with your arms stretched, with your legs stretching away from your middle of your body. And then we're going to use the ball to encourage some spine flexion by holding the ball, arcing your arms across the ceiling. Your head follows your arms as you come up into a chest lift. And then you soften down. Bring the ball above your head again. And again, eye gaze follows the ball. Softly sending your rib cage towards your navel as you come into that chest lift. Point the toes. If you have a cushion, you can always pop that under your head, but it's not mandatory. It's just if your head's feeling like it needs a little bit of extra support there. You can always try it, and if it doesn't feel right, or it feels right and then it doesn't feel right, then you can change it, bringing the ball back. Lengthening your arms towards your feet as you come into this chest lift. Opening out. Lengthening. And coming forward, slide the rib cage towards the navel. And again, we're going to do 3 more here. And we're going to do 2 more. Just keep those legs nice and long. And just keep the hands soft, the arms soft here. That's it. We're going to stay here in this chest lift. Hold, hold, hold. Slide the rib cage towards the navel. Then we're going to turn the ball over towards the back. So you're turning your rib cage again. Then we're going to come back to the middle. Then we're going to bring. So you're just as though if you were, what are they? Those speed racers on the ice. And you're turning a corner. Think about how you do that. If you're rotating your rib cage, keeping your pelvis on nice and soft on the mat, and you're turning your rib cage as you rotate around. And then soften down. Bring your hands above your head. Lengthen your arms. We're going to repeat that in a moment when we lengthen both our legs individually away from our hip bones. Just so you can see one half of your body sliding away from the other. I always find this move quite fascinating, and as it's like you're splitting yourself in half, and you're just really lengthening each of the sinews of the sides of the body. Okay, just a few more. I find it quite satisfying as well because my sides get quite tight, especially over my hip joints. Okay, so let's just get yourself back level again. Bring your hands around the ball again. Bring the arm bones across the ceiling, coming up into that chest lift. And then turn the ball towards the back of the mat so you rotate the rib cage and forwards. And again, soften the shoulders away from the ears here. No need to grip the ball really heavily. 3 more foot rotations on each side. So 6 moves in total. It's like you're leaning onto the lower shoulder when you do this turn. And then come over. Lengthen the arms, reach the arms. Just roll to the outside edges of the ankles here. Arms still above your head. Arms still reaching away from you. And then roll inwards. So your thigh bones are rolling inwards and outwards. As your feet are rolling inwards and outwards. So just getting a lovely little bit of just gentle hip and leg dissociation here. And we're going to do that one more time. So bring your legs back so they're in line, bringing your ball across the ceiling. Nose to chest, rib cage to navel, come into that chest lift and then turn towards the back. Rotate towards the front. Rotate towards the back. Rotate towards the front. Rotate towards the back. Rotate towards the front. 3 more on each side. 2 more. 1 more. Come to the middle. Lengthen your arms away behind you. Bring your knees in. And then bring your ball into your front hand. Just glue your inner seams of your thighs together with your feet on the floor. And then I want you to send your knees over towards the back of the mat, eye gaze towards the ball. That's it, lovely. Lengthen down that side. And then just draw your hand around your head and just come into the side of your body. And then again, holding the ball, rolling it around, opening out the shoulders, lengthening the ball away from you towards the front, and just drawing your rib cage down slowly. Then the lower back, pelvis, knees, and the knees go back over towards your front of your body. Then your eye gaze goes towards the mat, the back of the mat. Draw your backhand around and just let it take the ball in your hands from the front, and then opening out, lengthening it, opening out the arms, reaching the shoulder away. Really lengthen that shoulder. Get that connection from your armpit down towards your shoulder, down the front thigh. Send the rib cage, waist, bottom, knees around. Send the knees over towards the back of the mat. Lengthen the front arm away. Sweep that over the head. And then let that take the ball. And then again we go over with the ball. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen across the shoulders. Reach, 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 reach. Dropping down with the rib cage. Pelvis, knees over to the front. Lengthen the arms. Draw the arm over so you come onto the front of the mat. Take the ball in the hand. Draw the arm back. reaching over, reach, 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 bring the rib cage down, across, eye gaze over towards the front of the mat, and draw the hand over. And again, one more time. Come on to the back of your body and just bring your legs, your feet hip width distance apart, or mat width distance apart, and just bring your the ball in between the knees. Create a connection here in between the ball and the knees. So squeeze it in and squeeze and squeeze. So you're just activating the inner thighs and just bringing that connection, feeling like you're bringing your pelvis just sort of the knobbly bits of your pelvis, that they're drawing together as you squeeze. And then bring your feet off the mat, bring your legs parallel, and just your ball is still in between your thighs. You're still connecting in, you're still creating a connection of your inner thighs. And then lengthen the legs up. Bend the knees down. Lengthen the legs up. Bend the knees down. Lengthen the legs up. Bend the knees down. Feel the abdominals here. And again. Now take the ball, place it in between the ankles. Okay, again, have a connection. Notice the connection travelling from your ankles all the way towards your pelvis. Lengthen the legs. And back. Bring your arms up towards the ceiling whilst you're doing this. And again, now we're going to have the legs up long, and you're just going to turn, you're just going to move the ball so it's on the top of the top of the front leg, and then you're going to roll it over so it's on the top of the back leg. So you're just basically just doing really small moves. I'm going to lose the ball at some point. So pressing down with the ball, rolling onto the top of the shin and back, and then onto the top of the front shin. And again, whoops. And every time you lose it, just pop it back. And just roll. And just roll. And just roll. And then let the ball come down to you. Good. That's much more dropping in my studio than I can see on the screen. Now bring the hands, the ball behind the rib cage into that classic ball spine support for chest lift. Just want you to roll back and forwards just a little bit on the ball. Just roll up and down the spine. And just let the spine really feel the support of the arc of the ball. I've done quite a lot of flexion, so I'm going to just roll into some nice supported extension here. So press the head into the hands and the hands into the head, and just bring the elbows in front of you so you can see them out to the corner of your eyes. Brilliant, okay. And then just slide the rib cage towards the navel. And then just lengthen the skull away from the spine as you drop your head down towards the mat. And then draw it back. If your head is connecting with the cushion and it feels good, then leave it there. If you want to move it, then please feel free to move it. And again. If you feel there's a little bit of a tightness, then just go only as far as your body is allowing you to as you do these chest lifts into extension. And maybe the ball is in the wrong place, maybe you need to just wiggle it around a little bit. And just let it lengthen and open. That's it, good. Really pressing the back of the rib cage into your ball, just to help it create that flexion as you come up, but also encourage the extension as you come over. And then we're going to come up all the way towards this chest lift, and we're going to turn the rib cage. So we're going to do the oblique work. Just stay on the same side. So stay on the front you're turning the spine towards the front of the mat. Eye gaze is going over here. You can use your arm if you'd like to, but you don't have to. That's just really for me to show the direction. And then it might help. And then we're going to turn to the front of the mat, and we're going to hold here. We're going to hold here. We're going to hold here. We're going to feel like we're pressing the front shoulder blade really in towards the ball, but so much so that the ball might go towards the back of the mat. Okay, it's just all about emphasis of imagination. And then come back towards your thigh bones, and we're going to go towards the back of the mat. So you're just going to turn towards the back of the mat now. Turn towards the back of the mat. Turn towards the back of the mat. So again, thinking about that gilded cage of your rib cage, with your spine being the centre support of it. I also use the analogy of a carousel, but today we're a lovely gilded bird cage. And you're just turning your spine, turning your rib cage around your spine. And then let's go towards the back 3 more, and then we're going to hold it. So if you find you're quite tricky in terms of direction, you can always bring what would be your front arm across your body and lengthen it to show you the direction of travel. And we're going to hold here. We're going to hold. We're going to allow our shoulder blades to just soften, so our shoulders just come away from our ears. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Bring the hand behind the head and then come back. And then let's just roll over the ball a little bit and then come onto the mat, lengthening the legs too, widening the elbows out. Notice how if you had a little bit of, say, tightness in the back of your body, by doing those rotations, it's really opened that up. Take a few breaths here. And then we're going to bring the back elbow over. We're going to roll onto the front of the body and move the ball away. Bring your hands on top of each other. Bring your forehead on top of your hands. And just tuck your toes under here a little bit. Just tuck your toes under. Send your heels away from your legs. Allow your legs to rise off the mat through that connection with your toes. Maybe you need to find the toes a little bit. Send the heels away. That's it, good. Press into the toes. Send the heels away. Just really send the heels away so you allow your legs to naturally lift off the mat, because you can bend your knees, but we want the knees to be nice and open at the back. And again, sending those heels away. Just place the front foot down onto the mat, and I want you to activate your leg just by pressing on the upper of your foot, and then I want you to send the heel away so much so that the toes start to come off the mat, so your leg is now fully elevated. And we're just going to bend the knee, lengthening, feel like you're lengthening the thigh bone away from the pelvis, and then press the heel away. Keep that front leg active, bend the legs, send the heel away, and bend the knee of that back leg, and then send the heel away. And again, bending that bend the knee, and just send the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. Lengthening the front of your pelvis, opening up the front of your pelvis, lengthening from the belly button all the way towards the knee. Keeping a connection with that front leg as you are pressing the sole of the back leg up towards the ceiling. Drop down, lengthen the leg, point the toe, let the top of the foot just soften but connect to the floor. Tuck the toes of the left foot away, send the heel away too. Send the heel away, lengthen the leg, keep the connection of the back leg on the floor. Send the heel away so the front leg rises. Lengthens away, not bending the knee yet, we're just lengthening away with the heel so the leg rises, but you're feeling equal across your pelvis. Bend the knee, lengthen the thigh bone, press the heel away, bend the knee, feel like you're lengthening from your hip flexor, press the heel away, activated on the back leg as well, pressing flat into the mat. Bend the knee, flex away. And we're bending the knee of the front leg and we're pressing the sole of the foot up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Drop down. And we're lengthening the back leg away now. Same thing, repeating, pressing the heel away, lengthening the back of that leg. Bend at the knee. Front leg is active, pressing onto the floor. Pelvis is nice and soft, but you can feel that it's equal because both of the feet are active, or both of the legs are active. You're actually keeping that pelvis nice and stable and soft within the movement. And then we bring the foot up towards the ceiling again and press up towards the ceiling, lengthening those hip flexors. That's it, just pressing up, lengthening up. May find that it goes into your glute a little bit. And then drop the knee down, bring that foot back on. And then lengthen the heel away of the front leg, send the ankle, flex the ankle, send the heel away so the leg rises. Activate that back leg, pressing the front of the foot down. And then bend the knee. And press away. Again, we want to be keeping the pelvis nice and soft. If you wish to, you can always bring your hands away from your head just a little bit and just come up into a very, very small, minor extension. But make sure that your eye gaze is on the mat if you're doing this, and you're lengthening the back of the neck forwards. And then we're pressing up towards the ceiling, lengthening the front of the hips as we do this gentle move. And then drop down, bring both of the legs, just move your pelvis from side to side. We can do one more time on that. Press that front foot down, lengthen the leg of the back, flex the ankle of the back leg and bend the knee. Press away. Bend the knee. Press away. Bend the knee. Press away. Bend the knee and press up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Drop down. Lengthen the leg again. Flex the foot. Send the heel away. Bend the knee. So the front leg now we've moved to. 2. That's it, good. And then we're going to press up, keeping the support in that back leg. So we're just keeping the pelvis nice and quiet, focusing on lengthening the hip flexor by pressing the sole up towards the ceiling. And a couple more. And then drop down, head onto the hands if it moves, and just move your pelvis from side to side. Bring your hands behind, underneath your shoulders, and then elbows running down the side of your body. Press the heel of the hands down and along, so you pivot your shoulders so your elbows come in line with the body. As you come up into very small extension, press the tops of the feet into the floor. Soften down. And again, press the heels of the hands down and along. Turn the rib cage, lengthen from the pubic bone towards the collarbones. And soften down. And again. Just allowing the rib cage to do lovely extension work. We've done so much preparation for this. Lengthen from the pubic bone all the way up to the collarbones. Imagine that the head and neck are just poking away, moving forwards as you travel up into your extension, and also as you travel down back to the mat. That's it, good. And then let's just lengthen all the way up, so bringing your arms up long, lengthening your legs away as you do this, and then coming up onto your knees, so you're lengthening from your knees all the way to your collarbones. Dropping your body down, bending your knees. Heels of the hands down and along, send the elbows towards the feet, turn the rib cage, eye gaze travels along the floor, head and neck nice and long, lengthening from the knees to the thigh bones, to the pelvis, to the collarbones, softening the shoulders away from the ears, bringing yourself down. One more, if that's available to you. If not, go back to the small variation. Heels of the hands down, sending the elbows long, lengthen up. Really strong in your arms, bend your knees, send your bottom towards your heels. Bring your arms out in front of you. Here I just want you to activate your armpits. Bring your arms out, so lengthen your fingertips, and I just want you to feel like you're lifting your armpits towards your shoulders, and then soften. And then again, feel like you're just getting your armpits to touch sort of the inner shell of your outer shoulder, if you see what I mean. It's like you're just squeezing that space in between them, just really lifting that armpit up. And again, really slight, minute movement. Let's do that 3 more times, just lifting the armpit really. And if you can't, if it's tiny, tiny movement, so if you can't imagine it, or you can't feel it, then just imagine it. Imagine that the flesh of your inner armpit is just lengthening up towards the inner edge of your outer shoulder. The space between it is just squeezing smaller and smaller and smaller. One more time. And then we're going to tuck the toes under. And we're going to roll onto the balls of our feet. Just going to let the heels sink a little bit here. And just feel that length either on the feet or on the calves, or across the knees or across the back. I'm just going to put a little bit more pressure onto the fingers as you just bring your knees forward, opening up the fascia in the back of the feet here, and then come back. And again, bringing the knees towards the mat, supporting yourself with the fingers. And then back. And then again, one more time. Bring your feet flat, wider, and just sink the pelvis down in between your legs. And just let the body sink down here. And then bring your hands onto the mat. Bring your feet hip joint width apart. Lengthen your legs. Press into the soles of the feet. Curl up from the front of the spine as you come up to standing. Take a little note of what's happened inside as you've moved your body for the first time this week. Maybe feel a little bit taller. Maybe feel a little bit more rooted on your feet. Maybe just feel a little bit more oiled. Thank you very much.